What's up, guys? How's everyone doing today? This is Johnny, January 22nd, Thursday, late morning. This is 11 a.m. Wherever you are in the world, I say welcome as you guys are tapping in. Like this video. Let me know how you guys are doing. Let me know where you're coming from. Like always, in these daily live streams, if you aren't a member of our Johnny Says Boxing VIP Insider group, that link is pinned right here in the comment section. It's a couple bucks a month. Join on YouTube, join on our Patreon, whichever one you join. If you support both, if you support us on one or the other, you get access to our famous, growing betting Discord. There's been, any media is good media. So we get 99% love for what we're doing. The 1% of hate will come out of the woodwork, but we're going to keep doing what we're doing because we take all hate as compliments as well, because we must. Oh, there's hockey, there's basketball. The basketball channel is super popular right now. Obviously, American football, we're coming to the end of that season. The college football national championship just took place with Indiana beating Miami. We have the NFL playoffs, only a couple games left until the Super Bowl, and then it's going to be the NBA and then Major League Baseball. So we're going to launch a baseball channel as well. If you guys didn't know, I grew up playing 4 sports: baseball, football, basketball, and boxing. Baseball is actually my best sport in terms of scholarship and stuff like that. I played baseball at a higher level than any of the other sports. And so I'm looking forward to baseball and seeing you guys in the Discord. We have about 350 JSB insiders. Click that link to find out more. It's a busy weekend of boxing with a lot of good. There's a lot of good matchups on both of these two major cards. There's a card in the UK that nobody's talking about. The two major ones are the Zuffa card, headlined by Callum Walsh and Carlos Ocampo. And the other card is the world title fight, headlined between Raymond Muratalla and Andy Cruz. Now, I broke down the Cruz and Muratalla fight. If you're new to the channel, go to my playlist, Fight Predictions. You could watch my edited breakdown, analysis, and prediction uploads of those. They're about 10 minutes. I give you both sides of the story. I do my best to be as non-opinionated as possible, unlike a lot of other boxing content creators. I like to respect all fighters. Even if I pick against a fighter, I'm not doing it mean-spirited. All of those videos are under Fight Predictions. I also uploaded yesterday an interesting fight, and I'm uploading 2 more before tomorrow. I have to check. The Kane Sandoval versus Julian Rodriguez breakdown is up too. Seems like we might be shifting the odds because the odds are crashing, bro. The odds are crashing. I locked in, I think some of the boys and I locked in J-Rod at plus 480. He's down to like plus 240. It's crazy. There's also some other dogs that I like. A real big dog at plus 520 I just locked in. Guys, any of us could just sit here and pick 3 fighters on the money line and give you a 52% return, and we could just call ourselves experts. That's fun, and I do that, but I do it in a long version. If you're new to the channel and you're in the Discord, what you're going to get from me is a long parlay, a fun one. We've hit 25 in a row, by the way. Those are in the Discord. We've hit 25 money line picks in a row. A lot of those are big favorites. Some of them, I mean, there's a few that they're in this 25 fight win streak. There's $1.85 in there. There's $1.90 in there, but a lot of them are $1.15s, etc. Those are fun. Where the real money is in betting on boxing is finding value picks. So 50-50 fights on paper or finding sharp fights. So when you're doing tape and you see an underdog and you think the odds makers may have had it wrong, that sort of thing. I think that's happened multiple times this week. We'll go over it. In the Discord, I talked to, I'm very fortunate to have a very tight knit of guys that I could talk to at any given time. I could call them up. They were professional boxers. You guys see some of them on TV. One of my buddies I speak to is upcoming Hall of Fame induction. You guys see him all the time doing fights. And so I have this group of 3 or 4 guys who live out the world, and we're always talking. By Wednesday night in Australia, my time, I have 3 or 4 conversations going on with real boxing minds about, what are these odds? Are these odds wrong? Do you see an upset here? What do you think about this guy's technique? So what I do my best is I try to share what I feel is appropriate in our Discord. And that's the benefit of joining the Discord, the JSB Insiders, right? I give you guys on these public live streams as much as I can, but there's real value in our community. I share voice notes, voice memos in there, and it's a growing community. And there's a fight. I'll start with your questions first, and we'll get into it. What's up, Julius? If you guys missed our live stream yesterday, we went live twice yesterday. On the second live, Julius came on, and he dropped some real wisdom. He lives in the South in America. He lives in Alabama. Real good boxing eye. He's another sharp. He's a guy who makes a lot of money off of his knowledge of the sport. He's in our Discord, and if you missed that live, it's on the playlist. Check it out. Him and I were chopping it up. He was dropping knowledge on, we talked about the Muratalla Andy Cruz fight. We talked about the Sugar Sandoval fight versus J-Rod. And so, Julius, man, whenever I see those money signs, I get excited. Majorov Salazar distance plus 400. Yeah, my only issue with that, in my research, Julius, Salazar is a Dominican. Okay. I'm not. So I was talking to my boy, he has a big public profile about this fight, about Majorov versus Salazar. And I brought up the fact that Salazar was a Dominican Olympian. And he goes, bro. He goes, all I'm saying, Julius, is he didn't take too much credence on being a Dominican Olympian. I'm probably, those odds on that fight are terrible. I can see Majorov getting a win. Like, he needs a win. Will he turn on the gas and stop him? I don't know. I'm probably not even gonna bet that fight, to be honest with you. I'm probably not gonna bet that fight. Majorov should win. I mean, what a resume that he has. What other guy fought Terence Crawford and Virgil Ortiz back to back? You know what I mean? Like he went the distance with both men. He looked good against Bud. He fought 24 rounds with Bud and Virgil with under 12 pro fights. Israel Majorov is that dude. Like, Israel Majorov is that dude. What's up, Kush? We still good. What's up, Johnny? Is Kelly Mirzad no distance the most probable you think? Well, I can't wait for that fight. You know how I feel about that fight. Josh is my boy. I just hope he gets it. I hope both guys get out there, unscathed. I'm taking Josh as the dog. And I tend not to get tricky with method of victories when I take a fighter as an underdog to win. So we got time. I got to sit with that because I was been watching Murtazaev, man. He's a straight puncher, He's quicker than I thought he would be. Josh, yeah, I like Josh is a buddy of mine. Always bet with your wallet, not with your heart. I'm gonna break my own rule on this fight. I'm taking Josh just because I want to see him as a world champ. Sorry. What's up, Let333? Chat, should we tell Let333 our number one rule, or one of our rules on the channel? There are no such thing as locks. Anything can happen in our sport. Boxing's the greatest sport on earth. The sweet science is a beautiful thing. This is why anything can happen. There are no locks. I would not tell you any fight, even a guy who's 15-1. I mean, guys, Buster was a 40-1 underdog against Tyson. 40-1. We see it all the time. No such thing as a lock. Raymond Muratalla, 23-0, 17 knockouts, 29 years old, in his physical prime. The dude is mean. Never see him smiling. He's not a lock. I mean, Andy Cruz fucks around and gets a little bit too pretty. If he messes around and, loses focus or tries to showboat or not stay locked in, you got a hungry guy like Muratalla, an undefeated champion. There ain't no lock. No such thing as locks. I'm taking Cruz, though. I rate Cruz's game, and I was up late last night talking to shout out to Tommy, man. Tommy lives in New York. He's a New York City boy, former fighter. I live in Sydney. So when he gets off work, when he's getting ready to go to work, I'm kind of, winding down for the day. And we talked a lot. We were going back and forth on tape, and he was really high on Muratalla, and some guys are. for a good reason. When I watch Muratalla's tape, in my opinion, the matchup versus Andy, I think Muratalla's shortcomings are going to be holes in his defense. I think Andy is such a sharp puncher and he has the speed advantage and the reflexes. We know that. But it's in when I watch Raymond's tape, right? When Muratalla loves throwing his backhand, loves throwing that backhand. When he fires that thing, I've seen him get hurt before. He drops this hand. He comes here, drops that. He likes to punch with you. His defense is leaky at times. He's susceptible to getting hit to the body. All these kind of little things that I see, for me, I'm taking Andy not because I'm saying Andy's a better fighter. He's gonna dog walk. Muratalla sucks. No, I think Muratalla is very. You know what? Raymond Muratalla is also way more versatile than I gave him credit for on the offensive side of the story. His offense, he's not one-dimensional on offense. He has a lot of tricks to his game. He switches stances. He'll go from orthodox to southpaw. He'll set things up differently. He has the more tape I watched on Muratalla this week before I did my breakdown, I was impressed with how diverse his entrances were and sort of what he did to create his offense. I think his shortcomings, though, are on defense against a sharp counterboxer with speed and precision and accurate like Andy. Andy could punch too. People act like he can't punch. Andy could punch. Andy got a little pop in them hands. He got a little bit of dogs in them hands. So I wouldn't say Cruz is. I don't believe in locks. And I say that because growing up in the sport, it's disrespectful too. I'm not trying to gatekeep anybody's ethics, but this is my channel. And I feel that people who come to my channel over time start to understand my ethics as a man and how I speak and the narratives that I use. And all of that is admiration and revelry around fighters. So just because I pick against the guy, if you know me, you know I'm not hating on the guy. I can't get them all right. Wherever you're tuning in, guys, could you like this video? Listen to my boy King Pound for Pound. Still good. Appreciate you helping me out. Appreciate you doing some work, doing some lifting for me. I like it. I like it. Wherever you are in the world, man, I appreciate you here. We're growing. We haven't even been live streaming for July, August, September, October, November, December. This is our 6-month live streaming. We're just getting started. I started building my YouTube in 2022. We've built it from nothing to over 27,000 subs. I put a lot of work into this, and I appreciate everybody who supports me here and who've joined our team on our Discord. Guys, people are talking about us. People are tweeting about our Discord. People talk trash about our Discord, and that's a good thing because people are, for some reason, people fear. This is a general human element. People fear what they don't know. If somebody is unaware or unintelligent or uninformed on something, whether it's religious, political, whatever it may be, it's a fear response for people to start hating. It's in our natural DNA to fear something we don't know. So it's also up to us to seek out proper information, research, and not jump to judgments. If you're out there hating behind the keyboard, somebody you've never met in real life, you are projecting onto the ethos your own inferiority complex. We are here to get after it. User, I took Cruz on points. I'm giving you free game because I gave this to my Patreon boys. I put this bet in 4 days ago. It was my first money bet that I gave to the Patreon boys and the Discord boys. So user, you're not in the Discord, but that's my play. So you guys know I got Andy to win, and I got him at $1.95 on points. I'm taking him. I could also see Andy stopping Ray, but I feel I could do my due diligence and my respect for Ray by saying that he'll at least be classy enough to last the 12 rounds with Andy. So I got it at, I think, $1.94, $1.98. Problem with Salazar, he hasn't fought out of Domingo in years. Give me 1 second, big dog. Which fight? Yeah, you're talking about the Madrimal fight. Yeah, same thing. I'm not betting on that. I'm just catching up to you guys as you guys are tapping in. I appreciate you. We got Perth in the house. Bunch of new fights added. Sports bet. Holy shit, Jay Skeezy. We affected the lines again. You know what? You know I got him at plus. I think I got him at $5.20, bro. Skeezy. Floyd Diaz on upset alert. I haven't done much tape, GK. What do you see? What are you seeing on that? Have you taped it? I have three in the barrel that'll be coming out. I have my Deonda versus Chino tape, which, guys, if you're in the Discord, I commented. I was watching 3Ds. If you guys aren't following Gary, 3D Boxing, he's in our ethos, does good breakdowns, does good live. Not many guys in our space do live streams like this. I think more guys should do it. Gary's one of the dudes that does do it. And today on his live stream, he talked about Chino versus Deonda. And ironically, last night, I'm back and forth with my boy from New York, Tommy Ranone, and he messages me. This was last night. Gary's live stream was this morning. And last night, coincidentally, Tommy's like, bro, Deonda is live. He was like, these odds are wrong. And he goes on this whole spiel on why he's live. I shared that voice memo in our Discord. So GK, I already put action on Deonda, by the way, at plus. I'll show you the bet I took. So this fight, I took, this is my dog of the weekend. Once again, what do I get out of taking a favorite at $1.14 and giving myself roses? I'm taking Asa Deonda on the money line at plus 550. I shared the voice note in our Discord of Tommy. So, and I'm just gonna reiterate what he told me, what he was talking about. I did watch the tape. I like Austin Deonda. He's 22 years old. He's a 6 foot. This fight's at middleweight. He's a 6 foot middleweight, 22, 23 years old, undefeated, 17-0. Everything, absolute dog in the gym. This is a kid that was brought up as a young kid in like Tennessee. He's managed and promoted by Scott Sigmund. If you guys are old as me, you know my boy right there, Kelly Pavlik. Pavlik fought somewhere in Sigmund's career. He fought Kelly, and Sigmund became, he's a promoter manager. He runs a promotional company out of like Tennessee, Virginia area, and Tommy is connected. He was like, Johnny, it's worth the sprinkle, basically. And then the knock on Chino, inactivity, 1 foot in, 1 foot out of the game. The reason for, what's he really fighting? He's going down a weight class. And then also Tommy, I was pushing back. I was like, bro, but Chino, Mexican Olympian. He goes, dude. He said he doesn't value. He was like, Johnny, if you're not Team USA or America, not all Olympic team titles, basically, not all Olympic team memberships hold the same credence. It's kind of why he was Salazar being a Dominican Olympian. He was like, Johnny. He's like, that don't matter. So he talked me into it. I did some tape. I'll play some tape for you on Deonda. This kid, man. So I'm going to remove the veil for the boys who aren't in the Discord. This is our Discord. Guys, we just launched our tennis channel, boys. And the tennis channel, I got to get on this shit, man. This is my Discord. The tennis channel's popping. The soccer channel. Where's KDR? Kiza, the soccer channel's popping. The hockey channel's popping. Let's get back to business. So here's boxing. So this, just so you know, that's my bet. I got Austin Deonda at plus 550. With those sort of odds, an undefeated 22-year-old kid fighting for everything in terms of, you watch his media, you watch his tape, he's getting better. He's a bigger dude. He's a younger dude. He has his legs, and he's a dog. And, I'm going to take Tommy's advice on this, and I got him being my dog bark. I'll play this for you. So this is Tommy Ranone.
I know his manager, Scott. All right, so take a look at this kid, Austin Deonda. Bro, he's a plus 400. This kid could fight. He could fight, bro. I know his manager Scott. He actually fought. Kelly Pavlik, Scott Sigmund. So I met him years ago when I fought in North Carolina. He had a couple of guys in the card, and I met him then, and we always stayed in touch. He's a decent promoter. I mean, he's from the Hicks in Virginia, but he runs a lot of shows. He's built up a lot of fighters. His record isn't great, but he made something of himself as a fighter. Even though his record isn't great, he always came to fight. He fought anybody, and he's instilled that mentality in his fighters. He has brought this kid up since day one. This kid could fight, bro. This kid could really fight. And a plus 400, bro, I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to absolutely take a chance. The guy he's fighting is not a puncher. He's not a monster puncher in his own right, so that fight has distance written all over it. But plus 400, bro, I'm taking a chance on this kid.
On his journey. And I never snapped out of that journey till it was over. And I was like, yo, this kid is
Big dude, young dude, in shape. Literally, like when we're looking for sharp, Tommy does this shit for a living. I'm gonna take him on this. I watch a little bit of tape. I mean, he's not a polished fighter. This kid, you know, I don't, it's a gamble. I like it. Plus 550, baby. Let's go. We out here. The native nightmare, baby. Let's go. We out here. Look, Tommy's one of my references. Tommy Randon. When Tommy talks, Paulie, same thing. We're in the same group. Paulie was supposed to come on my show tomorrow. He's actually, what are the chances? Boom Boom Mancini. I'm from Youngstown, Ohio. Ray Mancini's flying Paulie out to Youngstown. So Paulie will be in Youngstown when he's supposed to be doing my show. So Paulie's going to come on for the Ryan Garcia Mario Barrios card. And Tommy Randon will be on tomorrow, just to give you guys a heads up. Big Terry told, yeah, Pop, he told me, mate. Man, you'd have liked my dad. My dad was a good dude, man. I miss my pops. Never really been that high on Floyd. I'll pull these odds up too, Kiza. We got a lot to talk about. Pablo, what's up, man? Appreciate you, Pablo. Appreciate the I put in my notes, so I read a lot. I'm an avid reader, and you know that I write, and I love quotes and I love books. And that comment you wrote me meant a lot. The Quixote message, the Quixote saying. So thank you for that. I appreciate that. You're not crazy for thinking Kelly Kawini's going to box circles around Bachram, slow feed, basic. GK, did we just become best friends, bro? People have been clowning me, and look. As you guys are learning about me, and if some of you boys already know, I don't care about haters. Like, I'm okay with getting trolled. I don't care about like the people in my comment section. I'm an old head, dude. We grew up doing this shit, right? But I have no problem taking Josh Kelly at plus money and getting trolled after if he loses. I think I could co-sign on everything that GK says. The tape that is sort of changing the narrative around Bachram is the Tim Tszyu performance. And it's not fair. Every time I bring up the Jack Kulke performance, Jack Kulke got a little bit of game to him. But Bachram, dude, he marauds. He doesn't hide anything. He's flat-footed. His side-to-side movements, not that great. I think Josh could box the dog shit. Better terms, I don't want to. I think Josh could box the ears off of Bachram. Let's pull up the odds right now. GK, we should stop talking about this though, because we don't want the odds crashing again. We don't want these odds crashing. I cannot believe the sugarcane odds are insane. All right, here's the current odds on Josh and Bachram. Yeah, bro. All day, every day. You give me Kelly at plus 320. I do not. If when this fight goes down, I take Josh Kelly. I'm doing my stats don't lie breakdown, and then if Bakram wins, all the trolls will come in the comment. I don't care. So how do we pass up? Like we're trying to. Our goal is to find value bets. Like unless you have a bankroll of $100,000 and you're making like a 2-leg parlay with a 49% return, or a 2-leg parlay. That only works if you're like literally betting $50,000 on it. I'm not in this for that. I know some guys take my bets. So there's syndicates. Like there's so much that I know that I don't share about sort of like what guys are doing with the bets that I put out. And so unless you have a massive bankroll, the entertainment side of this is why we do this. True boxing fans love this sport. How do you pass up a Josh Kelly fight? I think Bakram Murtazalov, the matchup too, stylistically, I think Bakram Murtazalov is tailor made for Kelly to look good. He's not gonna be moving like rewatch the David Avanesian fight. Dude, I rate Avanesian, man. I think Avanesian, you remove there's a reason he got the fight. They paired him up with Terrence and they paired him up with Duran because it's a great measuring stick. How good are these guys? Let's see how they deal with this guy who's been destroying everybody in Europe. And Josh was doing good until he wasn't. Why? And what was his downfall? Lack of efficiency. When I use the word efficiency, I mean that gas tank, and he really didn't learn his lessons. And this is where people jumped off the bandwagon because before that fight, he went to New York to fight Ray Robinson, who is a good fighter. Ray's about to fight Michael Fox. He's a little older now. But Ray Robinson, Google Ray Robinson Jr., read the blogs, read how people used to talk about him 10 years ago in the gym wars in Philly and the sparring partners and, who he was mixing it up with. People expected this Brit, who was just a few years post-Olympics, to come to the U.S. for the first time and dog walk Ray Robinson. Guess what? Ray Robinson wasn't having any of that. And a lot of it, and it was a draw. And a lot of it had to do with Josh not being efficient. That pretty-ass style. Pretty boy Kelly, PBK. And he was, what do the young bucks say? Dog, you're doing too much. Dog, in my DMX voice, you're doing too much. Dog, that's my man's in there. He was doing too much, right? Be more efficient. You could win this fight. Jab, jab, box. Stop trying to go viral. Kelly would box like he wanted to go viral before virality was even a thing. Fans kind of jumped off that bandwagon in that Avanesian fight when you watched his style just melts. You know what I mean? When, he was winning rounds, he was looking good, and Ava just kept coming, and like a true veteran Avanesian was. Taking what he could get, feeling him, leaning him, grabbing him, circling out, boom, 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 taking what he could get. And the minute Ava started feeling that little melting boy, then you got to see how good Avanesian was. He started pouring it on. Josh fell apart, and then everyone was like, Kelly's a fraud. Kelly's a one-trick pony. I didn't think that. I was like, Kelly can make some adjustments here. He got the skills. He has the physicality. He has the size. He has the hand speed, and he could crack. Dude, the kid has great hands. And it's not a, I mean, you could listen to sparring partners he sparred with, the Olympians, part of that British team, guys he's fought. So you mix that with just, I feel Kelly's shortcomings have always been a tactical thing. Like, bro, you could box. You got a good jab. Stay here. Stop trying to go viral. Fucking, So I think that marauding style on one line, showing things here from Murtazalov, I think Josh could dance. I think Josh could look good. I like that pick, GK. In my opinion, Muratalla shows inconsistency round after round. Andy money line. I agree, big dog. This is coming up next. Omar Trinidad versus Ornelas. This is my next breakdown, Lit. So I will be releasing my stats don't lie video of Omar Trinidad versus Max Ornelas next. That's coming out today. So I'm gonna be live. I'm gonna be going live for a little bit longer, but in an hour or so, make sure you hit notifications on my channel. So every time I upload the breakdowns, you get notified. Yes. Let's go. Let's see. All right, Julius. All right, Julius. Now I'm excited. You're showing some interest in this fight. Are you getting props on that fight? Oh shit! I hit cricket. Hell no. Okay. Props have dropped. Guys, I woke up this morning in Australia Thursday morning to like Christmas because last night we had 4 fights to bet and none of them had props. Now I'm picking all these fights. Now we have props. So you guys already know this is my underdog of the weekend, Austin Deonda. I'm tailing my boy Tommy Rendon. I like it. I've done some film, obviously taped both guys. I question Chino's when you're a 31-year-old pro who hasn't been that active, who in my opinion never really became who he thought he was going to become, fighting a 22-year-old undefeated kid when the odds are like this. Why is Chino still fighting in this fight? Like, I have to question his mettle, mettle. I have to question his mettle. So I love this. I want to see what so distance. Will the fight go the distance? $1.40, and it's a great parlay. It's a great parlay piece. You take will the fight go the distance? Yes. You parlay it with Andy Cruz on the money line. You're flirting it even money. You're flirting it, a +1, maybe minus. It's sitting right at even money. 100 will get you 100 back. What's up, Pacino? We good. We still good. All right. Now we're learning safer bet. Who's the safer bet? Opinion, Omar or Nelas. Look, there's a lot of these fights on the Zuffa card, and hats off to Zuffa, hats off to Dana White, hats off to these fighters, to where a lot of these matchups made are guys who are both in similar positions in their career, who need a win. Now the odds are showing Omar is a sort of, what is he, a 2-1 favorite right now? Yeah, so Max is a 2-1. This is it, guys. This is another. I like Omar. We talk on Instagram. I started The thing is, I started interviewing fighters in 2014. So sometimes, I mean, obviously, Omar's young. My point is, I sometimes could get a little bit. It's hard for me to. I sometimes have to detach and compartmentalize because I cheer for Omar Trinidad. I want all these guys to be successful. I'm not in this. What I do, you're never ever gonna hear me say I watched tape on a guy and he was garbage. He was ass shit. Like, I cheer for all these fighters. You know what I mean? And the longer you're on my channel, you'll know why. I grew up in a fight gym. I started boxing as a 7-year-old. I know what can happen in the ring. And Max Ornelas is live here. 100, plus 225. That's not my official bet, but Omar needs to be locked in. Omar needs to be switched on. Omar needs to be sharp. This is why the Zuffa card excites me, guys, because if we get there's like 4 or 5 matchups where we might be looking at absolute firefights. If we get like the Cain Sandoval fight versus J-Rod, if we get both, if we get the Cain versus, because Cain Sandoval, he's been up and down for me. And at 23 years old, I want to know why. I haven't seen consistency. He looked good 3 fights ago and then looked sluggish again in his last fight. And for a 23-year-old, you would expect the trajectory to be like this, not like that. And so I question, boxing's a brutal sport, man. Things outside the ring. Are you fighting full time? Not in his case. My point was with the Trinidad, and then bring it in Ornelas and bringing up J-Rod and Cain, is that I hope we get all of these fighters at their best. And the weigh-ins are going to tell us a lot. I can't wait for the weigh-ins. I actually might wait to put my parlay on, my money line parlay for the weigh-ins. I locked in my 2 dogs. I already showed you guys. I locked in J-Rod on Monday. I got J-Rod at plus 475. We crashed them bitches. We crashed those odds, dude. Those odds, he's like plus 200 now. And I locked in Deonda. But in terms of my long-term parlay, my money line, I'm going to have to look at the scales, dude. I want to see, like, the Floyd Diaz Gutierrez fight is close. Trinidad Ornelas is close. Robert Merriweather's a fun little product. Troy Nash is a dog. I rate Troy Nash a lot. Jacob Ramos will be there, though. I think Jacob Ramos is tailor-made for Troy Nash to look good. Who else? Is Z fighting this weekend? I thought Z was fighting. Or is that on the Shakur card? The Tito Sanchez fight versus Rubio. Look, I'm not sold on Callum Walsh, mate. I'm not saying Ocampo's going to beat him, but every time I watch Callum Walsh, I'm like, what do we do? Like Dana White was giving him main events, the Hollywood Fight Night on UFC Fight Pass. I've been watching because I'm an MMA head too. I don't just do publicly. You only see me doing boxing, but I do MMA as well. And Dana White has been feeding me Callum Walsh for like 4 years on UFC Fight Pass. And every time I watch him, I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, I'm not impressed, man. Now, granted, Ocampo to me seems like he's 58 years old. Carlos is only, 30? But he's been stopped. He's lost 3 times, been stopped twice. The EJ stoppage, the Tim Tszyu stoppage. I don't know if Callum has that sort of pop. There's nothing about Callum Walsh. We know why Dana invested in him. Dana wanted that second lightning in a bottle, that Irish boy. He wanted that second Conor McGregor. That's not Callum Walsh. So the good news about his career, though, is after Ocampo, if Callum dog walks Ocampo, he'll at least be at the stage in his career where we'll be able to find out if he's legit, if he's a real guy. I don't know if he's a real guy. Like, maybe that's me being a unk and an old head, but like, you're going to have to prove it to me. I'm not one of these bandwagon. At 40, I'll be 40, at 43, 44 years old, I'm not a bandwagon guy. You're going to have to prove it to me. And then when you prove it to me, I'll be a fan. Like old boy who just sparked out my boy Subriel. Like Dalton. Going into that fight, I had no problem taking Subaru Matias. I was like, I'm not sold on Dalton Smith. I was like, he's going to have to prove it to me. Well, guess what, fam? Dalton Smith proved it to me. Shit, I'm a fan of that dude, boy. How brave he fought in the pocket, catching counter and Subaru with his backhand. How sharp that right hand was, boy. How durable he was getting hit standing. I'm a fan of Dalton. I did not see that against Matthew Germain. And so my point is, if Callum Walsh goes out and sparks Ocampo, hopefully then we'll see him paired with somebody that we'll find out. And that's another beautiful aspect of our sport. The boxing ring is life's greatest lie detector test. You could be anybody you want outside that ring. But as soon as you step inside those ropes, all will be known in due time. And when you're a pro fighter who's been being moved a certain way, and, in boxing, I'd rather have them moved a certain way than being rushed. That's the biggest difference I always talk about with the UFC is that because the UFC is a bit of a monopoly, the UFC, they eat their own. They eat their veterans and they eat their young. You know what I mean? Because there's nowhere to go. Once you made it to the UFC, there's a stepping ladder. So we see that in boxing, you move guys differently. You have I'd like to see guys be moved properly instead of being expedited. I'd like to see a young, talented guy, show him what he looks against a southpaw, see how he does against a counterboxer, see how he does on his back foot, see how he does with a guy who has a good hook, see how he does, that sort of thing. And that's how boxing has generally always moved. And so I can't be that mad against Callum, but you can't go back. Carlos Ocampo fought EJ, fought Tszyu. If he starches Ocampo, at least I'll know. The last 4 years of not believing in Callum Walsh, I'll at least know in these next future fights, I want to see I want to see some fights. How do I feel about Mari Jones, Z Moses? I'm a Z dude. Zachlin Moses is that dude. Guys, if you go on my Instagram, if you guys aren't following me on Instagram, do it. I'll follow you back. Johnny Stofko on Instagram. And just say, hey, Johnny, what's up? It's so-and-so from YouTube. I have a lot of U.S. amateur boxers who follow me from my strength and conditioning. I coach a few Aussie amateur boxers who are getting ready for the Commonwealth Games. I do their online coaching. I'm a strength and conditioning coach. I do the programming, right? So I've worked with USA amateurs as well doing the strength and conditioning. I was getting told about Zachlin Moses 4 years ago. I knew about Z 4 or 5 years ago. I watched him come up. I watched him in the amateurs. This dude People talk about Z being like better than Shakur. Like people are speaking highly of him. There's two brothers too that are in the amateurs that I can't wait till they go pro. They're in that same ilk. I think the one just stopped boxing though, which kind of upsets me. I'm just looking at who views my stories. He's always watching. Anyway, my point is, I've known about Z. I rate Z. Omari's a dog. It's gonna be fun to watch those guys get moved. I remember seeing Zianda getting his man bun cut off in the middle of the fight against DeAndre Pettis. Bro, man, I used to have hair down to here. Could you imagine having to get that shit cut? Didn't Paulie have to get his shit cut in between a round? His braids were falling out. Bro, did you take Curry on Panther to go the distance? Did you take that? Bobby Brando, that's a good plan, baby. There you go. There you go. And that's a plan of attack. But bro, no one wants to be around the guy who bet 50K on a minus 2,000, and that boy lost. I've seen it. I lived in Vegas for a few years. I seen it. No one wants to be around that guy, boy. Jay Grizz, I saw you. Yeah, them cats are children, bro. Yo, Johnny Gary's live here, so I mentioned the entire. Bro, them cats are children, and look, them cats be acting like some women, dude. I think we're dealing with children. You know what I mean? Dudes changing screen names and talking like some girls. Like, bro, I'll put you on the corner to make me some money. Hey Johnny, I know the fight itself is old news now, but are you able to talk on the question? I saw you message that. Mike, I saw you message it earlier. So Mike is referring to the Zarafa versus Nikita fight, the cut on the eyelid, and how the ref stopped it. But I don't think it's a black and white issue, Mike. I think that where you're fighting, the commission matters. I think each commission is different. And I think more than anything, it's when the doctor spoke to Mike. The second you verbalize, I can't see, that the fight is off. And there's no arguing that. It's just, it bummed me out because I wanted to see a good fight. And it was trending that way. I don't think so. I don't think he is either. Julius, I like how you're standing on business, Julius. Muratalla money line, Nick Ball money line. Stand on business. Oh yeah, dude, Muratalla could win. Young Money. I'm not saying he can't. Look, I told you. If did you tune into our live last night? Me and Julius came on, and Julius is tipping Muratalla. He could definitely win, man. He's a world champion, undefeated. I'm a fan of Muratalla. From a keep your chin down and grind. Like I've been on my own my whole adult life. I work for myself. My whole livelihood is based off of work ethic and discipline. So I like fighters who carry themselves that way. There's how Muratalla carries himself. I'm all for it. I'm a fan of him. I break down his fights every time he's on, every time he fights. For me, it's as simple as this. I think it comes down to his leaky defense. I think it's going to come down to the body shots and Andy Cruz's sharpness. Andy Cruz's hook too. I'm seeing a lead hook. Ray loves his backhand. When Ray starts cooking, he throws everything into that backhand. Meaning you slip or you time it, there's a body shot wide open. Also, watch his tape. When he sells out on that backhand, his lead hand is here. He's not here. He's here. And Cruz, a little bit of catch, counter, bing. I can see it, man. I can see it. Aren't there? Could you imagine? The fun. I remember like when I first started live streaming like 6 months ago. I was watching this other dude who was doing boxing content. I watched him for like a week, and then it came to the time where fight night was coming up, and he was giving his people his picks, and he was like, "All right, gang, I had a dream last night that I was like, I'm out," and I never watched him again. Could you imagine? I got a funny feeling. I got a dream. Shut your ass up. Yes, sir. We see eye to eye on that one. What better sport is better than boxing though? On some real. I'm about to hang a heavy bag right here. I might start live streaming from my gym. I might set the live stream up in my gym so I could hit the bag. You guys would love that. Kane going to steamroll J. Ross. Sorry. I hope not. What's up, Retro? I just saw your questions, Retro. Oh, you know why, Retro? Is because you see how you're on my live stream because we have a membership. You see how next to your name, there's nothing. And then next to King Ty's name, you got the star. It's because the way the YouTube live stream set up for a benefit of joining our JSB Insider group, you not only get access to our professional betting Discord, but during the live stream, the questions get filtered by the JSB Insiders. So I wasn't avoiding you. I just have to manually go through now. So I see you've been messaging a lot, brother. I wasn't avoiding you. Y'all got Retro. Y'all got decision wins for Muratalla, Shakur. I got Andy Cruz, Shakur, and don't even talk to me about Brandon Figueroa. God damn it. Brandon Figueroa is on my no bet list. Omar Figueroa, I blame it on Omar Figueroa all the way back to Abel Ramos. I put the whole Figueroa family no bet list. So I might not even bet this Nick Ball Figueroa fight. God damn, dude, Brandon Figueroa against Cool Boy. Omar Figueroa against Abel. What was he doing? He was slipping into lead hook. To this day, I might reach out to Omar and ask him, why did you change your whole style against a guy literally with one path to victory, Abel, and you were slipping into his hooks? Because there's other ways, my coach used to call that a cadence. There's other ways to create a cadence if you're trying to get your rhythm, right? You could hear, and you could drill that. Like we had this mirror, so a crack in the mirror, here. Figueroa was blindly, if you watch that fight, was blindly going into the pocket here, naked, no jab. He was using these feints and I lost so much money on that fight. That fight seems like it was 40 years ago. When did Omar Figueroa fight Abel Sanchez? Yeah. I think it was Abel Sanchez. I don't think I'm tripping. Do we all agree that Keyshawn beats Ortiz? Yes. Shout out to Jermaine Ortiz, man. I'm a fan of the technician. He's another guy. I cheered for guys like Jermaine Ortiz. I cheer for guys like Raymond Muratalla. But we are betting our money on these fights, right? And you're asking me what I see. There are one of the most overused expressions in boxing, but I feel that is true, is there are levels. Mate, whenever you're dealing, like we don't have a ball. It's not a ball sport. We don't have a stick. There's no, we don't have a bat to swing. There's no puck. We have these. All we have, bro. It's the most romantic, beautiful sport on earth. You get these, a bell, a ring, ding, ding. Who's the better man? What the fuck, dude? Like that shit to me, it's so beautiful. Like what's more honest than that, right? So there are levels. And when I see hard work, dedication, discipline in boxing, sometimes, guys, is not enough. It's just not enough. If you don't have sort of like something else, because there's other guys who are going to be equally working as hard, equally as disciplined. And every now and then on a good night, you'll have the lesser leveled guy beat the better guy because the better guy wasn't focused. Now, Jermaine Ortiz is one of these guys. Raymond Muratalla is one of these guys. Disciplined, locked in, switched on. But they're both, going up against guys who are equally disciplined, locked in, switched on, that also have X factors. I think, we'll see. If Keyshawn ain't switched on, he's going to struggle. If Keyshawn's not switched on, he's going to struggle. He did leave Bo Mac's camp. He went back home. He's back with his family in Virginia. When Keyshawn's cooking, he's one of my favorite fighters. When Keyshawn's cooking, he's a freaking handful. Dude, Keyshawn versus Dalton Smith at 140? Woo! Keyshawn versus Dalton Smith at 140. Yeah. Bruce Carrington's my boy. Dude, he's such a good dude. I got a lot of love for Shushu. I think Shushu stops Carlos. I'm still waiting for Shushu's breakout performance. Every time we bring up Carrington, I'm going to bring up the Richardson Hitchens versus George Kambosos performance. You guys know that I picked Hitch to win by stoppage because I knew the bag that Hitch has. All that skills, all the jab, the speed, the credit, the pedigree. I was just like, he just needs that viral performance for, the mental, the confidence to sometimes when you have guys who are super talented in boxing, it's hard to let go of everything. You're hesitant. You're cautious. I think Shushu needs a performance like that to allow everything to come out. It's almost like, what are those? A Venus fly, like a lotus flower in the sea. You see like these 3D images of this like multicolored flower that starts here, and then over time, like a time lapse, it opens up and you see all this stuff. It's kind of like that. That's the way I look at Carrington. I think he has all that potential. He just needs to, have a moment. He could have that moment against Carlos. He fought Dana Coolwell really well. The only people who beat Dana Coolwell were Shushu and Chop Chop. Dana's a legit pro. Really long for the division, tough as freaking nails. I think Shushu dropped him a couple times. And, when Dana went back-to-back against Bruce and then Chop Chop, and I thought he was winning rounds against Chop Chop. I did not think that was a unanimous decision. Okay, I've caught up. Yeah, Keyshawn. What's up, Grizzy? Moneyline Cruz. Dude, we didn't even talk about Xander. Xander is that dude, man. Watch, dude, the kid's 22, big as hell. I would enjoy him at 154 while we got him because he ain't staying at 54 too long. That dude's bodied up, lives in the gym, physicality, genetic, gifted, marketable. We got one with Xander, I think, man. I want to see him at 60. I want to see how he handles, what he does with Barral. I mean, Abbas Barral, he's come in, he's traveled before as the dog. We just saw him against Taylor. Not Taylor. Why would I get mixed up with the kid who beat Taylor and Abbas Barral? I do too many fights. Anyway, I like Xander in that fight. Davis, Carlos Adames, 100%. Shakur, pay your mortgage, car note, insurance. Jake Grizz, I'm telling. Barral will on Xander for 12 rounds, making it rough and ugly. Barral beat Tellez, right? I watch too many of these goddamn fights. Xander too skilled for him. Xander really impressed me, man, what he did to Chino. If we're playing the domino game, Xander's fighting Abbas now. We just saw Xander against Chino. Chino was fighting Charles Conwell. I'm still pissed at Charles Conwell. Come on, bad news. Where are you? Dude, I was shocked Chino beat Charles Conwell. Conwell hasn't fought. Come on, Cleveland, Ohio, man. Where are we at? Northeast Ohio, stand up. I thought we had one with Conwell. We got one with, Abdullah. We got one with Tiger. I thought Conwell, we had one. Northeast Ohio, baby. Ohio runs boxing. We up. But Conwell did. So when I saw Chino make adjustments, beat Conwell on the ropes too, it really signified how one-dimensional Charles's offensive bag was. Dude literally had one plan. He had plan A. and then he got stuck on Chino's left side the entire fight. It was so frustrating to watch. Don't watch the fight if you don't have to. But then, Chino gets this massive opportunity. A world title fight. That's how close Conwell was to fighting Xander, which would have been an interesting matchup when you think about their styles. But Chino gets that, and, Xander handled him. Xander did what he wanted with him. We'll see. I mean, Barra will test him, though. I'm not going to – I think I agree. I think that was Julius who said that. I think Barra will test him. Guys don't like sparring Muratalla. Plenty of gym stories of Muratalla beating guys down sparring. Sparring is sparring, but blue collar sparring is sparring. No, you got to spar, right? Yeah, sparring stories are legendary. Keyshawn's going to stop Ortiz bad. I think so. I hope Keyshawn's 100%. I hope we see his. I'm cheering for him. Once again, the old head, the unk in me. Keyshawn's only 26 years old. He's still a kid, dude. What were you doing at 26? I was a goddamn nightmare. I was transporting dope from Long Beach to Humboldt County, dressed in a suit, acting like I was a businessman for this old Vietnam vet named, I'm not going to give you his name. And I'd have to drive from Long Beach to Humboldt County, like 15 hours. The girl I'm dating's dressed up like we're going to a dinner. We go 12, 15 hours. I'm like 24, 25. That's what I was doing at 25. Stopped playing baseball at 23. And then I'd get to this farm that looked super suspect, pop my trunk. They would take my spare tire that was empty, and they would vacuum seal inside of it. And then I would drive another 15 hours back. I'd meet the dude at a hotel on PCH and 2nd Street. I think it got torn down. It was called the Long Beach. I think it was called the Long Beach Belmont Shore. It was called the Belmont Shore Hotel. And then we would take it out of the fucking tire, and then he would pay me like a couple $1,000 for the trip, and then pounds. We would trim it, and then cut all the odds ends off, separate that, and then he would give me all of that pile, and we'd make weed butter. And I was a weed head, dude. I was in playing reggae music. I was a loser, and he would then take all of it and then sell it to the dispensaries. This would have been 2004, 2005, 2006. So what? Keyshawn's 26. My point. He has a lot of time. Hopefully he gets his shit together. Barral's the most skilled boxer Xander ever faced. Plus, I believe Xander struggles to make weight. Xander does struggle to make weight. Barral's going to be in his grill. I think Xander's getting better, mate. I think he's leveling up. He's a big boy. I don't think we're going to see him too much longer at 154, guys. Xander's breakout performance is going to be next weekend. King Ty. And this is why Julius is my guy, man. We are not an echo chamber, but that is my boy, and we disagree. This was my whole goal. I don't care if I ever get one more follower. My whole goal with starting this shit was to create a place to talk boxing, educated-wise with research and film study, and be able to disagree without calling each other just mean-spirited names. You know what I mean? Like the rest of the internet is. And you notice our chat, we keep away the trolls. The trolls know not to come in this chat. They'll get eaten up. Blue collar Xander used Barral for sparring for his fight against Sosa, I believe. No way he picked this fight if he didn't feel. I think that we're going to see the size difference, the physicality. I think we're going to see the athleticism. Stylistically, I think, like Julius said, Barral will be in Xander's face, but you have to also mention Xander's not just going to let him do what he wants to do. You know, the way Xander manages distance, the way he uses his jab, the way he, I want to see his clinch work a bit. I want to see him level up in the pocket a bit, get a little more comfortable, throwing and rolling, hooking and rolling, turning his opponent. There's so many other little things. But I agree with you. I think Xander handles him. What do you think of the prop to get knocked down? Dude, it's very. We've seen the Antonio Moran fight. Moran was a big boy too. He was like the big guy, when they were moving Cruz. I mean, what, 4th pro fight, or was that his 5th pro fight? Bigger dude, and Andy. I like it, man, because we've seen it before. Mosby, we've seen it, and this is this is another thing with how we're betting here is when you're looking at who to take, you don't have to, dude, I like taking underdogs, guys. I don't mind taking an underdog and then he loses and then I get trolled in the comments. That's on me. But this is what we're doing here. Like, if I think a dog's live, I'm going to tell you I think a dog is live. I also like these sort of bets. I usually will do it on the Inoue fights. They haven't hit for me recently, but if we've seen it happen before, you know it could happen. We've seen Cruz get wobbled. We know he's willing to trade. Muratalla, you know, he's a puncher. He wants to do. He wants to be there. How about I also could see Muratalla getting dropped with a body shot, man. I could see Andy Cruz. I could see Cruz 1+ knockdowns. Let's see what that pays. Cruz is sharp, man. And Ray switches stances a lot. Ray will switch from right to left in an exchange. Sometimes he switches, and I don't know why he's switching. It's kind of like, you know, if you watch all of Floyd Schofield's fights except the Tevin Farmer fight, because we didn't get a sample size for Tevin Farmer, because Floyd came out and starched him. Shout out to Tevin, man. Tevin's my boy. Hopefully he's all right. Hopefully we could see Kid Schofield too soon rather than later. But my knock on Schofield's tape is he switches stances sometimes just to switch stances. When did we start doing that in boxing? I think one of the things Bud brought is everybody now, the young bucks, I think they get that from Crawford, but Crawford would do it with intent. When Bud would switch, he would come out, like even if you watch the EJ fight, he fought EJ the first 3 rounds, I think, southpaw, and then he might have fought him southpaw the entire fight. But we've seen Bud go from orthodox to southpaw within exchanges. He does it really well. He's really efficient with it. You have to be a skilled technician to do that, and that's one of the many things that make Crawford great. But you see Kid Schofield do it. I question, why are you doing it? You're doing it in exchange. You're doing it. You're not even throwing punches off of it. Almost doing it as a feint. And I see Muratalla do that too. Imagine how salty Virgil going to be if Zayas unifies. God damn. You ain't lying. Do you think dude, Virgil versus Xander. Virgil versus Boots. Boots versus Xander. Hold up. Do y'all know how to do a poll? How do y'all motherfuckers do a poll out here? Boots. I know I don't like doing I don't like doing future fights. You know, it's kind of against my my systems, but Boots versus Xander. Please, everyone, subscribe. Going to start uploading my predictions. Do it, Retro. Youngin, you're struggling. Oh, Youngin, email me, bro. So, Youngin, I'm going to, so. So, Youngin, if you're still on, email me, johnnysoftcode@icloud.com. That's our email that I use for this, and then I'll send you the link, all right? Boots versus Xander, who wins? Boots versus Xander. I like it, Alf. I like it. I like Walsh, Cruz, Keyshawn, Xander, Nick Ball. I do. I probably won't bet on the Nick Ball fight because I don't do Figueroa, but Retro, let us know when you join. That's the email. Email me. I'll send you the link. Xander boxes. You think so? You think Xander makes Virgil look a level below? Boot stop Xander. Ooh, lines are being drawn. Boots is one of my favorite fighters. Virgil's one of my favorite fighters. Xander's one of my favorite fighters. I hope they all fight. Oh, if they all fight, man, that's going to be a stressful film study. I got you, youngin. Appreciate you, man. Sorry about the inconvenience too, big dog. Xander to be. This is a good conversation to have. We should do a live stream dedicated to this with film study. Boots beats everyone at 54. Guys, check the. Make sure you hit notifications. It's 12 o'clock now. I'm gonna be uploading some stats and live videos, and I'll catch you. You guys are beasts.